let's take a minute and let's talk about our new officers. Because so far, I'm not overly impressed. The first one we get is only available through the Syndicate option, and that's Felon over here, who they got a little punny with the way spelling his name. And if the other Orion officer was loosely based on Beck, who's this one loosely based on? The first thing I said when I saw this was Logan. That if you take out some of the piercings, that this kind of could look like Logan a little bit, or add some piercings to this one. But as far as his actual abilities go, Damien, thank you very much for the follow. By the way, thank you guys earlier for the hype train. I didn't get to call that out. Lube resubscribed for 24 months now. Thank you very much for that. Dr. Iron Chef threw in 100 bits when he showed up 11 minutes ago. So I appreciate that as well. New ability here, boosting FKR reputation gains as an officer ability. Not really something you're going to do with other Orion Syndicate officers. Like, you're not going to go out faction hunting with, you know, him that you would need synergy or something like that. So not overly enthusiastic about this particular ability. Totally Logan? Yeah. No. We didn't design ourselves into the game. Yeah. Well, somebody in the design team was like, we need to make up some new people. Well, let's just use the people we have around the office. And then below deck boosting protected cargo. Okay, well, that's not bad. Although, again, it's a stat that has significant diminishing returns on it because you've got a number of other things adding to it. And the people who are in the highest syndicate levels, who are most likely to be able to get this person, probably not the people who need more protected cargo and more stats. So it is going to seem a little bit like a disconnect there. The people who can achieve this and get this don't need the reward for doing it. The people who would benefit the most from having it won't be able to get it for so long. By the time they finally do get it, they won't need it anymore, which happens a lot in this game. You know, they put these paths, these paths for things in the game for you to grind, for you to work towards something, free to play forbidden texts and these other things. And it's like, well, by the time it takes me the 6 months to get it and get it unlocked and then actually start upgrading the thing, I don't need it anymore. I've outgrown it. I've added 6 months of other power creep that's added to all these values. And that's just the way that the scaling in this game has gone for 2 to 3 years now, with everything being so immediate and value-based and value adds and primes and boosts. In order to sell product, you've now diluted your end game and made it so none of your products really have any significant value anymore. That's unfortunate. Stewie, thank you for the resubscription for 14 months. I appreciate that. So, but again, it's, we've said this for a while now. Scopely's not a game design company. Scopely is an investment company that bought game design studios. And then somebody bought them who also wants to be more of an investment. So how do you keep making profit? You keep selling things. Well, what are people buying? People are buying this stuff. Well, the players who've been playing the game for 4 years aren't buying this stuff anymore. Yeah, but the new people still are. All right, so we need to get more new people into the game, because then they spend lots of money buying stuff, because they don't know any better yet. And that's my new mission in the world, is to basically just teach all the new people. I mean, spend your money how you want to spend it, but it's yours. Do what you want with it. Give it to me. No, I'm just kidding. Do what makes you happy. But there are so many things in this game that you're probably not getting the value you think you are, and yeah. Oh, thanks, Jen. 2 guns, one girl. Oh, that's nice. Stewie and his boo just subscribed to my channel within minutes of each other. That's so sweet. Confianza, thank you for the follow. Let's So, as for our other new officers that we got, well, here's our first epic, an officer-only ability, boosting Apex Barrier against invading entities. Don't know that that's really needed, but maybe they have plans long-term to add different things or to change the chimeras or to add new invading entities other than the chimeras down the future, right? And then we have over here the winning gambit, new ability. This is a decent ability, right? This is basically con below decks and better. When hit by an armada, increases critical hit chance starting at 4% for 4 rounds. Can go as high as 12% for 4 rounds. You get hit 2 or 3 times, especially against like solo armadas and things. Can really pump the crit chance up pretty quickly and get it up to the max point where every shot is going to be a critical. And then you start combining that with people like O'Brien and Tolva, and yeah. So not terrible, especially again being a below deck ability. So we like that. Hatter wants to know if Scopely still has a licensing agreement. Yes, I'm sure they do. Usually when a company gets bought out, their existing contracts are still valid and get assumed. Now, sometimes there's a restructuring process that may go involved, or if Skydance and Paramount, whatever their arrangement was, yeah, there's all kinds of stuff that goes on there, but I'm assuming it's still business as usual for now. No issues there. His and her subs. Exactly. Exactly. Who else did we get this month? Mirror Uhura. All right. She's only going to be sourced through the whole new Arena PvP system. Apex Barrier. After receiving hull hit point damage from a player with Assimilate. So when you get attacked by a player and you've inflicted them with Assimilate, or they've done it to themselves, which I can't imagine you'd want to do necessarily, but maybe, then you're going to get an Apex Barrier boost. Not terrible, I guess. I'm sure there's some combination with the new Mirror Universe officers where this works and makes sense. Below deck ability, kind of giving you a versatile. You got a PvP officer ability and a PvE below deck ability. You got some value here. Apex Barrier, 700 at the start of combat versus non-Armada hostiles. Also, it's interesting that they chose to use the Zoe Saldana version of Uhura, which is one we haven't seen get a new persona since 6 years ago when the game was released. We had Cadet Uhura and we had Officer Uhura, and we haven't touched those officers pretty much since then. Those versions, the movie versions, right? The Chris Pine, J.J. Abrams movie verse. So to see them coming back to this version is also kind of interesting. So, decent officer. I don't know if it's going to be worth like grinding in the arena to try and get this officer right away. Maybe there's some combinations I'm not thinking of. We also have our new rare officer who, I believe it was Lube, kind of points out looks an awful lot like Doc Brown from the Back to the Future movies. And, well, once you kind of see that, you can't unsee it, right? Great Scott! Yeah, I get it. I get it. When hit by an armada, increases your critical damage. Not bad. So now you got one person boosting your crit rate, and now you've got something boosting your critical damage, but it's a very low value, right? Now, granted, it can stack multiple times, and it goes for 4 rounds. So if you have this at a high rank and you get hit, depending on how many, different weapons the Armada has 3 or 4 times. Again, if you're doing like a solo Armada or something like that, this could stack significant, or you're just soloing a regular or group Armada by yourself. This could stack pretty good, 20, 40, 60% per round for 3 or 4 rounds. Could get you a nice return on investment there for it. But again, it doesn't make me go, yeah, that's an officer I want to go get. I want to go chase that officer down. That doesn't inspire me, excite me. So those were the 2 new officers. We had Felon, who we looked at earlier, who's going to join the Orion, and we have the Mirror Uhura. So those are your 4 officers. To get Felon, you have to get to Syndicate 46, and this is where you start sourcing Felon shards instead of Mavery. Mavery taps out here at 45, so probably a long ways to go for most people before you can start sourcing that. And then in our new arena mechanic, you can see the new Terran store, or you can also go into the factions because it's also there at the bottom of your faction. You can see all of your different claims and things in here, including how to get, this is a daily claim, once you get your ranking up high enough. And then as you reach different levels and different tiers, you have these one-time claims that will also help you unlock the officer faster and or tier the officer up quickly, and then you'll have your daily claims to sort of supplement that. You also have a number of other one-time claims in here of picking up some of the other Mirror Universe officers, but it does require using some of these common Terran credits. But it should certainly help you unlock all of these Mirror people and get them going, as well as become a permanent source for some premium Mirror dust. Although, as you see here, there are lifetime claims on the limits on these, it looks like.